Good morning, Panthers. It's Tuesday. So, Phoebe, congratulations on your writing win. 25,000 words is 25,000 words that you didn't have in October, so I mean, I think that's a writing win too. I'm always so impressed when you talk about your family gatherings because, you seem like you have a really big family and that apparently you all like one another, which is not the case in my family. Neither of my parents are really close to their extended families, so, it's basically just, me and my parents. And, my mom's mom and stepdad used to be around, but they are no longer with us. So, but yeah, I'm not close to any of my cousins. I'm not close to any of my aunts and uncles. I'm not close to any of my great aunts and uncles or anything like that. So it's always sort of weird to me when you talk about a family gathering and you're like, yeah, there were 30 people there, and I'm like, really? And no one killed anyone else? That's amazing. Let's see what else. Are you talking about the bullet journal thing? And I'm trying to design a setup. Okay, I will show you mine so you can see what I'm talking about. So I don't know if you know what a Midori Traveler's Notebook is. Midori is a brand, but everybody just sort of refers to it as a Midori. People DIY their own, and that's what this is essentially. And the way that the Midori Traveler's Notebooks work is that it's actually just a cover with elastic bands stuck on it, and then you can put more than one notebook inside the cover, so you can keep all your notebooks together. So you can have separate notebooks for separate subjects or whatever. I'll take it out so you can see. So this is a really cheap one that I made just to try out the concept, basically, and it is literally a placemat from the dollar store with two giant rubber bands attached to it. And the rubber bands just go around the thing, and then you just insert the notebook like that so that the rubber band holds it in place, and then you put in a second notebook on the other rubber band, and then you have two separate notebooks, and you can put in as many notebooks as will fit in your cover. Now, a nicer Midori notebook, like an actual one that you buy, or if you make a nicer one than this, has instead of rubber bands, it has actual elastic cords that are goes for holes that are so it's actually attached. They're not just strung around the outside. But since this one was just an experiment, I just stuck on the rubber bands, which works fine. Accidentally ripped out a page when I took it out of the thing. Good job, me. That's okay. So, like you said, the bullet journal thing, the actual bullet journal thing, where you keep everything in one notebook with an index page at the front, and then you have the little weird symbols that you do with the your to-do list and stuff, and all of that. I can't do that. It makes me nuts to have everything all just chaotically shoved into one notebook, which is why this Midori system works much better for me, because then I can have things kind of separated into categories, which I find much easier to deal with. The bullet journal system is makes me really anxious even to think about it, because it's just too chaotic for me. This was a notebook that I made a while back. I printed out my own notebook things and just stapled them together. I have a long arm stapler, so I just stapled them together in the middle, and it worked pretty good. This was my first tracker page from October. You can see it's a bunch of little square calendars. And then I have this page, which is the Duolingo Spanish course. It's my how completed it is. And here's my page for the Duo Korean course, which you can't see very well because I haven't colored it in very darkly. Then this is the tracker I showed you last time from November, and my nano page, which is the page I ripped out. And this is my tracker page for this month, which is really similar to my tracker page from last month. And then it's got another rubber band that goes around to keep it closed. So my mom is a home health care worker, and so she has, more than one client, and so she has a lot of stuff that she has to keep track of, because she has to keep track of not only her work schedule, but she has to keep track of their like doctor's appointments and things like that. So she has a lot of stuff that she has to keep track of. So I'm trying to put together essentially like a Midori sort of deal for her. So like I'm working on this whole file and everything so I can print out actual nice calendar things and print it out in booklet form and then staple it all together and make a notebook that way. And then I'm going to make her some blank notebooks that she can use for client journals that can all go in the same cover together, so she can have all of the stuff in one place. So this system so far seems to be working pretty well for me, this traveler's notebook system. I like it a lot. I don't really have that much stuff to go in it at the moment. I've only got like two notebooks in there, and only one of them is one that I really use a lot, but I'm sort of slowly adding stuff as I go because I didn't want to overwhelm myself. You know, as you say, most people, like I look at like the bullet journal spreads that people do online, and they're like completely irrelevant to anything I might ever need, and most of them are way too complicated and too exhausting to maintain. So I'm trying to slowly only do the stuff that I need and like slowly build up from a minimal amount of tracking to, you know, slightly more tracking. So that is my planner system, only it's not really a planner since I don't have like a calendar or anything in it, because what would I use a calendar for? I don't have a life. Oliver, I am very sorry about your migraine. I have great empathy for you. I don't know if it will do you any good, but I read a thing here a couple years ago about a study that they did with migraines in ginger. They found that for most people, for the majority of people in the study, 1/8 of a teaspoon of dried ginger in water was as effective or more effective than the prescription migraine medications that they were using. So I have started doing that, putting like between 1/8 and 1/4 of a teaspoon of ginger in water and drinking it at the first sign of a migraine, or you know, when my migraine starts kicking in. And I find that it really helps. It actually does like help break up the migraine a lot. I don't know if it will help you, but I mention it just in case. And also, it's, you know, it's nice that you are concerned about your footage being weird, but like in your video where there was like a long pause and then you were like, I'm sorry that this video is like this. That's why my videos are like all the time. That's why my videos are so full of jump cuts, because like I have to take out all these like long pauses and gaps for thought where I tried to think of something to say, or where I had to repeat the same thing like 15 times because I couldn't say it like a normal human. So yeah, your video is fine. I am in awe of you guys all the time that just, you know, take out your phones or your cameras or whatever and just film yourselves talking for like 4 minutes straight or whatever, and then you don't have to cut out a bunch of weird like pauses and stuff. All of you guys just like can talk like people. I don't know how that works. That seems weird to me. Okay, so I am gonna go now because I feel like I've been talking for a really long time. Maybe it's just been a lot of staring at the camera. That's possible too. So I love you all, and I hope you're all well, and I will see you next week. Oh, and happy Project for Awesome, which is this weekend. I hope to see you all in the comments at the live stream. So I'll see you then. Don't forget to be awesome.